Boker Tov, good morning. It's wonderful to be here together with you this morning. And I hope that the day has started off well for you on this beautiful Monday morning, this lovely Torah day, a day where in our last full week leading up to Pesach, we continue through the book of Leviticus, a time of sacrifices, just as Pesach was originally a sacrificial holiday. Good morning, Fern and Lance. Good morning to one and all. Please do share a greeting with one another and with me. Good morning, Deborah. It's wonderful to be here with you. And to all, Boker Tov, Boker O. Welcome to Boker Tov from Temple Sinai. Temple Sinai Congregation of Toronto's daily opportunity to connect, to reflect, and to remember. I'm Rabbi Michael Dolgan, and it's a pleasure to be here with you this morning. Good morning, Annette and Anne and Anita, our three A's, and Sandra as well. I'm so pleased that we have this time to start the day together. Let's start the day by reciting our prayer for the physical miracle of awakening. Let's recite it in English today, and we'll continue in Hebrew with the prayer for the soul. Blessed eternal God, creator of the universe, you have fashioned our bodies with wisdom, creating within us a finely balanced network. To stand before you in prayer is itself a fragile miracle. Eternal God, we praise you as the healer of body and spirit. And this prayer for the soul has within it the different terms that refer to creation. um, that in the second line, it says, Ata barata, you created the soul, in the sense, the same verb as bereshit, which really doesn't come from that root. Bereshit bara Elohim, right? It's that second word, but even the first word, bereshit, starts with those same first three letters. Because there is a sense that the creation of our soul is like the creation of the world, that God brings it miraculously into being, and then Atayitzalta, that God also has fashioned it. An idea of shaping, that while our experience shape our soul and we ourselves guide the creation of that spiritual side of us, God does that as well. And so we celebrate the creation of the soul and the connection of it to the body in these words. Eloi neshama shenatata bi torahi, v'tavrata, v'tayitzavta, v'tanefachta bi, v'tameshamra b'kirbi. Kol zman shahanshama b'kirbi, modeh ani lefanecha. Adonai Eloi v'Eloi Avotai, ריבון כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות. ברוך אתה, אדוני, אשר בידו נפש כל חי, ורוח כל בשר איש. The soul that you have given me, O God, is a pure one. You have created and formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as my soul is within me, I will give thanks to you, eternal my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. We praise you, eternal God, in whose hand is the power of all life and the spirit of all flesh. And let's join together now on this Torah day, on this Monday, this Yom Sheni, the second day of the week. Let us join together in the prayer for Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Va'arev na Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha b'finu, ובפי עמך בית ישראל, ונהיה אנחנו וצאצאינו, וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל, כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה. ברוך אתה, אדוני, המלמד תורה לעמו ישראל. אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור. These are the obligations whose value cannot be measured. They nourish us in this world and help us to create the world to come. Kibud Av Va'em, to honor fathers and mothers. Ugmilut Chasadim, to perform acts of love and kindness. Vashkamat Bet HaMidrash Shacharit V'Arvit, to attend the house of study morning and evening, v'achnasat ochim, to welcome the stranger, u'bikur cholim, to visit the sick, v'achnasat kala, to provide for brides and grooms, u'lvayat hamet, to keep faith with the dead, v'yun tefillah, to pray with sincerity, v'hava'at shalom ben adam l'chavero, to make peace when there is strife, the Talmud Torah keneged kulam. And the study of Torah is equal to them all. Of all of the lines in this translation, the one I feel less having self done and adapted this from what was in the 1973 Gates of Prayer book of our movement. Iyun tefillah, while of course praying with sincerity is important and is an element of iyun, iyun really means concentration. Iyun means focus. Iyun means looking at something in a thorough fashion. And here, I think connected to tefillah is intended to be not just cognitively, but emotionally doing that same, being emotionally and cognitively and spiritually focused. And the idea of this opportunity together is to bring all of that into as many moments as we can, but especially to the first line of Shema that we will recite in just a bit. So let's take time and let's join in the morning blessings so that we've said many blessings before the Shema. Chai Brachot, 18 blessings here on Boker Tov this morning. Let's say the first blessing entirely in Hebrew, the second half Hebrew and half English. And we're going to continue alternating, although reciting Matir Asurim, setting free the captive, in both ways. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sechvi vina l'avchin ben yom uven laila. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, you have created me in the divine image. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, you have made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa li kol tzorki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you open the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you release those who are held captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. And now continuing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you maintain the balance of land and sea. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you surround Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you give strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir shena me'enai, utnuma me'afapai. Concentration is a difficult thing to come by. Even as this morning, I struggle with reflections and my lighting and things that really aren't crucial. They're important, but eventually what's important is that unity that brings us all together. I want you to take a moment and think of someone in your past who continues to be present in the world through you. I want you to take another minute and consider someone who will likely be in the world beyond you, who's been significantly influenced by you, and who will, in some degree, carry you beyond this moment. Then I want you to take a moment and just be in yourself. Let's take a quiet and calming breath and just be here as we recite Shema together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavecha, ubechol nafshecha, ubechol meodecha. Ve'ayu advarim ha'ele, asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha. ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם. ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו. וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטעו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Well, now this morning, having recited Shema together and connected across time and place, or sought to do so, I want us to be able to do the same thing in looking at our parasha this morning. This week, our parasha is Parashat Tzav, the second Torah portion in the book of Leviticus, which continues, as does the first parasha, the first portion, in looking through the sacrifices that were recited, that were offered, excuse me. Later prayers are based on them that are then recited, but these prayers were, these sacrifices were brought in the temple in Yerushalayim. And while we have not and do not plan and wish to do animal sacrifices, the context of them is an opportunity for learning, for insight. For example, in the third traditional aliyah of this week's parasha, it gives the ritual for the sacrifice of well-being. Zot Torah Zevach Hashlamim, Aser Yakriv Ladonai. Zevach Hashlamim means a sacrifice of shalom, of shalem, of wholeness. And it can be done, as it says in verse 12, if it's for a purpose of todah, of saying thank you, as opposed to down lower where we made a vow and we are bringing it. Both of those are sacrifices of this kind. Then it tells us things that I think we need to know that have nothing to do with sacrifice. It says, one who offers it for todah, for thanksgiving, shall offer the following things together with it, down to verse 13. This offering, with those things added, shall be offered along with one's thanksgiving service, sacrifice of well-being. So along with the todah comes an additional zevach shlamim, and out of this, out of the shalom offering, person shall offer, it says, one of each kind. And we look at that, it means one of each offering as a gift, and that a part of that shall go to the priest who offered it. So it's an expression of the person who brings the animal. Part of it goes to the priest. And the flesh of that zevach todah, of that gratitude offering, needs to be eaten on that day. However, if it's given by free will or in fulfillment of a vow, then it can be eaten for 2 days, and what remains after that shall be consumed in fire on the 3rd day. And again, part of this is burned up, part of it is given to the priest, and part of it is eaten by the person who brings the sacrifice. And so the idea is it It gives to, it is an offering to God that benefits, that is offered to the divine and then benefits the community as well as the individual doing it. So part of what Shalem is the way it brings everyone together rather than the idea of gratitude or generosity being merely a personal idea. However, I really appreciate this additional retroactive aspect of these sacrifices. If any of the flesh of sacrifice of well-being is eaten on the third day, which is beyond when it's acceptable, it shall not be acceptable. It shall not count for the one who offers it. So think about that. Someone is feeling generous and wants to make an offering or made a promise and wants to keep it, or someone had something good happen in their life and is being generous as a way to say, to acknowledge that gift of goodness. One needs to start out in a way that expresses one's gratitude. One needs to bring others into that gratitude. And then one must complete the action in the designated and mentioned time frame, or it changes the nature of the action as a whole retroactively. The entire sacrifice and its meaning is canceled. It is a testimony to the way we're interconnected to others, and the way when we take on something seriously, not some mundane everyday activity, although that would be beneficial as well. But when we take on something with significance, something that is part of our life of gratitude or a promise that we made, we have to run all the way to the finish line. Or it isn't just that we did some good, but we failed to do other good. It actually can, in the sense of the sacrifice, cancel the goodness that we thought we were doing in the first place. I think those are really important ideas and worthy ideas that the Torah includes in and through and around its discussion of the ancient sacrifices. Let's continue with our prayer for the soldiers of the IDF, acknowledging their service, their different kind of sacrifice, but very, very real sacrifice, and the way in which that we stand with them as they stand on guard for us. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא יברך את חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל, ושאר מגני ימינו העומדים על משמרתם. ישמרם הקדוש ברוך הוא, ויצילם מכל צרה וצוקה, ומכל נגע ומחלה, וישלח ברכה בכל מעשה ידיהם. ויקוים בהם הכתוב, וכיתתו חרבותיהם לעתים, וחניתותיהם למזמרות, לא יישאו גוי חרב ולא ילמדון עוד מלחמה, וישבו איש תחת גפנו ותחת תאנתו, ואין מחריד ונאמר, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless the soldiers of the IDF and all who stand on guard for us. May the Holy One guard them against all difficulty and distress, injury, and illness. May all of their actions bring blessing, fulfilling the prophet's words. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, and may they learn war no more. May all sit under a vine or fig tree with none to make them afraid, and together we say, Amen. Well, as we reach out to those at risk in far off places that are near in our hearts, likewise, we reach for those in need of strength and healing and in deserving of our care and support. And so for all those who are in our family and circle of friends, for all those experiencing illness or injury or who are trying to recover or making the most of last days, for all of them, for all the names that have been given to me and given to Temple, those names placed in the chat and this and other services, and for those forcibly isolated, for the hostages who must be released immediately, and whose lives have been forever damaged and changed, as well as those lives that have been taken. For all of them and their families, we turn to these words of refuah. Mishiberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah v'Rachel Hu Yirapeh et Kol Makotenu Yiratzon milfenecha Adonai Eloheinu l'chalimam l'rapotam Yishlach lanu mehera refuah shlema v'ateret shalom v'numar Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal all who suffer. May it be the divine will to provide healing and strength. Reveal to us the holiness of life, the wholeness of shalom, and let us say together, Amen. I really appreciate the opportunity for us to get together and to connect and to reflect. And now it's time to remember as we recall those who died in recent days and weeks, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we've taken into our hearts with our own. During the period of Shloshim, the last 30 days, we extend our condolences to the families of Aryeh Hockman, Larry Robbins, Len Kahane, Roseanne Ain, Phyllis Schwartz, Pauline Finkelman, Valerie Fox, Gary Brown, Hagit Chovav. We also remember all victims of terror and war, including Hassan Karim Dahamshe, Yitzhak El-Garat, Moshe Musa Rohan, Oded Lifshitz, Ohad Yalomi, Shlomo Mansour, Tzachi Idan, and Yali Gul. And on Yahrzeit, on the anniversary of their deaths, on this 9th day of the month of Nisan, the 7th of April, 2025, we honor the life and legacy on Yahrzeit of Larry Amernick, Matthew Cohen, Charles Davis, Jack Glieberzon, Wolf Goldberg, Aaron Ladofsky, Stanley Lindover, Frida Lipson, Sylvia Miller, Joe Postman, Sidney Robinson, Lawrence Sandy, William H. Singer, Charles Smith, Sherry Joy Sugar, Saul Weingarten. Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be a blessing to us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn together to words sanctified by memory, words glorified by hope. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemeh rabba, ve'alma divrach euteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon u'v'yamechon, u'v'chaye dechol bet Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman karev v'emor. Amen. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ואמור אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמור אמן. עושה שלום במומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמור amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort and strength to all who remember. And together we say, amen. Well, Temple is grateful that a contribution has been made this morning. A contribution's been made to the Rabbi's Discretionary Fund by Marion Goldberg, observing Yahrzeit for Wolf Goldberg. Boker Tov, good to be here with you today. Looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow and sharing a poem from Rich Orloff as we make our way through